Welcome back to Good Things Utah. Valentine's Day is coming up, and while we focus on others, we can't forget to focus on the relationship we have with ourselves.
One of our favorites is here, Rob Volpe. Hello.
Hello. Early Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. I know you're from California. Are you okay this morning?
Not only am I from California, I'm from San Francisco.
Oh, no. Okay.
I heard a little Chiefs celebration, but
Moving on.
I still love you.
Okay, love you too.
Okay, let's jump right in. I love this topic today, not forgetting ourselves, and you have some awesome tips to go through. The first one you say celebrities are talking about this, and you have a couple of quotes to share.
Yeah, this is what got me really curious. There was Viola Davis was on the red carpet last year, went viral, where they asked her, she was with her husband, they asked her about the secret to a successful relationship, and she said what she always tells people is to love yourself first so that you can love somebody else, which RuPaul has been saying at the end of every Drag Race episode since that show started. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? And then just last week I was watching The View, and Cheryl Lee Ralph from Abbott Elementary, she was talking about the same thing, about you need to really love yourself. And so I got curious, like, well, okay, what does that mean exactly, and how do you actually get there?
Well, it can be so cliche. I've heard it all my life. You got to love yourself. If you don't, how you can love someone else and have a relationship? But there is truly something about diving into that, because we also talk about it on the show. No one is with you more than yourself.
Which, and that's the thing, and it's about, this is where empathy comes in, because it's about having empathy with yourself and using that to understand yourself better, and honestly to treat yourself the way you would treat a good friend or a loved one, with kindness and support and compassion, rather than the way like your inner critic is always talking to you and saying really harsh, judgmental things.
I think it can take a long time to truly grasp that, and when you begin to, the quality of your relationships totally change, doesn't it? Because then you can really appreciate a quality partner.
And you're showing up. I think Viola Davis, if people go onto YouTube, they can find the clip. Viola Davis's husband talked about, like, she shows up as herself, and because of that, they're able to have a healthy relationship. We were talking before we went back on air that when my husband and I met, we were both in a good, healthy relationship with ourselves, which made us open and available to be with somebody else. But silencing that inner critic and turning that inner critic into a coach or a cheerleader is really important. So it's about turning it around and using that first step to dismantle your judgment. Because what is a critic but being judgmental?
How did we get there in the first place?
We all have voices in our head. We all have these inner monologues that are going on, and one of the biggest and strongest is the inner critic. And it comes from events and people in our childhood that may have said something, or the way we're responding to stimulus way back when, and that voice continues to stay with us and get louder and louder. But it's important to turn that around. So instead of saying, you're no good at this, you can't do that, ask yourself, well, what if I can? What if I could do this? What if I could run for that position? What if I could go for that job? What if I could get healthier? What if I can?
What if you can?
That starts to turn the critic into a coach and support. And studies have actually found that if you are practicing self-compassion, so being good to yourself, caring for yourself, you will actually be more resilient in your life, which means you can handle all the things that life is throwing your way.
You say it's also important to work on dismantling judgment. Is that judging ourselves, being hard on ourselves?
Yeah, in this case, it is about that self-judgment. And as you said, we are with ourselves more than we are with anybody else. And that critic, you can, like right now, I probably have a critic going on like, ooh, look at how you look in the camera.
Rob, when you look at someone like Viola Davis, right,
Yeah.
and she's so strong, and I think when you say, I love yourself, you can feel it. And that also means boundaries with other people or boundaries with yourself. It just makes you a stronger person when you just have that, I love myself.
Yeah, I love myself. I'm good enough. There's the long time ago SNL skit where like I'm
Yes.
good enough, and gosh darn it, people like me.
me.
But it is so important. Silence the inner critic, turn it into a cheerleader or a coach, and find the times, celebrate that relationship. Find the times that'll nurture it, where you're going out on a walk, practicing yoga, meditation, doing things that really recharge and connect.
And when you begin that journey, isn't it incredible to see how everything around around you changes, your relationship to other people, to yourself. It's just another level. And it's lifelong, isn't it? We're always
Absolutely.
digging deep and trying to figure all of this out.
And that critic is always there. And so you've got to constantly be aware and try to turn it around.
As you say, it's in your book too. It's a muscle that we have to keep exercising. If you would like Rob's book, just go to that QR code, and we'll also have a link on our website. Thank you. Always great to see you, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.